camera, I used a piece of cardboard with black electrical tape all over it as a shutter. You can take this out and put it back into the front slot where it was. There's also a side slot for the shutter where you can store it and hold it until you need to put it back in the front. My pinhole camera, you could take it apart easily into two pieces. You could put your photographic paper into the back of the camera and secure it with some tape. I used an iPhone box for my camera, and it's actually a very simple design. This is my first picture. It was just white. This is before it was scanned. This is after it was scanned. You can see how it has some shapes. I really don't know what those are. This is my second picture, and this is inverted and scanned, just like the other. And it was just white until I inverted it, and then it was black. As you can see, this is a better view of the inside of my camera. You can see how on one side you can secure the paper, and on the other side there's a little indent from where the pinhole is. I feel like this is one of the most simple types of pinhole cameras out there. It was actually not that hard to make, but it didn't work perfectly, and if I could find out how to make it work better and take perfect pictures, well, perfect as far as pinhole cameras can go, yeah, I think this is actually one of the most simple designs for a pinhole camera. Okay, for my first picture with my pinhole camera, I took a picture, and I think I had a 14-second exposure time, and my picture turned out to be mostly white with a few dark patches and circles and ovals and a black circle in the very middle, and then there's some distinct shapes, like there's circles and there's a square and a hill kind of. When I inverted it, it mostly looked black, and then there's a few white patches, but in the middle there was a pinhole still. I think that I didn't make my pinhole camera, the pinhole on my camera big enough, and that is what happened, because it kind of, where a whole bunch of light got into, that's the black spot, and where not enough light, that's where it's white, because it didn't have enough exposure to the light. So most of my first picture is all white, but when I inverted it, it's the opposite, because it's all black. So yeah, it's kind of confusing. So my second picture was, I tried to make the pinhole bigger, and yeah, and then I adjusted the shutter a little bit, but it didn't seem to work, because when I took my picture, nothing showed up on the paper. Hudson used the exact same sheet of paper as me, though, so that kind of makes me wonder if something went wrong with that piece of paper, or there's something wrong with the photographic paper. But yeah, I made the pinhole bigger, and it was still white, so there was absolutely no darkness or tinge to the paper. It was still 100% white. When I was developing it, nothing happened. When I inverted it, it was totally black, but that goes besides the point. So it didn't get any exposure to the light at all. This happened to a lot of pictures, and yeah, it kind of I think one of these pictures kind of happened to everybody, but no one really figured out why or how to fix it. Besides, they had their shutter closed or something, which could have been a possibility for me as well. For my third picture with my Pinhole camera, I made my pinhole a little bit bigger yet, and it still didn't work out that well. It was mostly just a white area with a black hole or dot with shady gray stuff around it. It was a lot better than my first one, or kind of the same, but the dot in the middle was at least a little bit bigger, well, a lot bigger, and it seemed like it worked quite well. But you can see when I inverted it that the only place the light actually hit was in the very middle and around. So if I made my pinhole camera a little bit bigger, it might work better or different. I took this picture of the parking lot and some cars and a tree, and I think that the main problem for me was that my pinhole just wasn't big enough. So if I can make that a bit bigger or a lot bigger, then I could probably make a pretty good